So I am about 50 pages into You've Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, and y'all, wait, nobody told me. So I look, nobody told me, and this is wild, and I am having the absolute best time with this, and I don't want to mix myself and be like 5-star feelings, but y'all, this ate, and the first line of this book is wild. So this book starts off with the line: Malone was the first person Faye had fucked since the accident. What? That's what we're starting off with? And I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but that's not even the most important thing. This is how we're going to start this book? Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and claim that Joy will be my favorite character in this book because the things that she says and her humor, I don't know. But as soon as I started reading this book, I had to go. I was in the bed reading and I jumped by the bed and ran into the living room. I was like, Lex, I gotta tell you about this book. I know you don't even care because this is usually not the type of thing that she reads. But I was like, look, this is crazy. And I was letting her read some of the lines, and her mouth was just like dropped open. And I'm like, this is great. Like, this is hilarious. Like, but also at the same time, through the humor and all of the crazy situations that are happening, there we are exploring grief and what that looks like and how, it's not a linear thing. So all these beautiful, sad passages in the midst of all these crazy, hilarious one-liners at the same time. So I just feel like I'm being jerked around emotionally, but not in a bad way. Like I don't know. I just feel like this is definitely gonna be a favorite, and I'm mad at myself and I'm kicking myself for having not read it sooner. But yeah, great start. Great start. So I finished You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, and y'all, I ate this up. Easily a 5-star. Easy. Like, I don't even ever think about it. Like, this was amazing. The writing in this was just, it gave what it needed to give. It was funny. It was sad. It was messy. All caps messy. And I had a good time with this. I absolutely love Joy. Joy is like my favorite side character for sure. Like, her one-liners and her jokes and the way she would read Faye and like let her know what was up for real. Like, I had an amazing time with this, and I'm so mad that it took me so long to read this. Like, whatever. I've read it now. It's going automatically on my list of faves, and I just had a really good time with this. I think it's hard because it's like, do I agree with the way they handled the situation? Probably not. Do I? But it's also like, I do not understand what it feels like to lose a partner. I can't even fathom, don't want to. Like, I just, ugh. So to know that someone my age lost their partner, I feel like I could understand how she could be, how she could be messy, because I mean, I have been messy for far less things. So it's understandable in that way, but I just feel like this gave what it needed to give. I love that it was just under 300 pages. Like, we got the story, there was no messing around, there was no like extra whatever. And Yeah, I did have a surprise. The Milan surprised me because I feel like I Milan and Nasir characters were like flopped in my brain. Like I was just like, Milan, why are you acting like you just get up my nerves? And I was like, oh, Nasir is gonna be the one. And then by the end of the book, that had completely flopped for me. Not flopped, just swapped. And I just could not stand Nasir. And I'm like, ew, ew. But I don't know. I just also don't know that I feel like this relationship was like realistic. Like, how you fall in love that quick? But it could just be me, you know? Whatever. That doesn't matter. This is a great book. Pick it up. They can write a book for sure. Love this. I'm going to rant about it for the rest of the year, so be prepared. I got an update for you. So, I was about 50 pages into Scorpica, and unfortunately, it's going to be a DNF for me. I found myself not wanting to pick this book up. I have read maybe 2 or 3 books since starting this book, and I only got 50 pages in. So I think that says a lot about how I am feeling about it. And I do not believe in forcing myself to finish books if I'm not feeling it, or like, not DNFing. I am a DNF queen because I feel like there's so many books in the world and I just want to read things that I enjoy. Um, so yes, this was a DNF, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think I didn't connect with it. I didn't connect with the stories. I wasn't connecting with the characters. And this book bounces around between a lot of characters. So by the time I felt like I had actually started caring about our first character, we switched point of views, and that just kind of, then I was like, and I just found it really hard to care. Um, yeah, I just found it really hard to care. And so I will not be continuing on with this book. Do I think there's anything wrong with it? Not necessarily. I just feel like it wasn't for me. Okay, friends. So I am coming to you with an update. I have a migraine right now, but I had to come update because I knew I would forget if I didn't do it right now. So yeah, this will be short and sweet. So I am at chapter 10, which I think is about 40% into um I can't even think. Maybe this is a bad idea. But I am 40% into The Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee. And y'all, Holly Renee can write a love interest. When I tell you, from reading The Veil Kingdom and also this book, she can do a cocky man she's almost, I'm about to say she's top tier at that, because the lines she be putting off in these books, I be like, yeah, you got me. You got me. Like, it's something about an arrogant man that knows that you want him, even though, you are trying to fake like you don't want him. I don't know. It just works for me. It's just working for me, and I'm enjoying him already. So, a little bit about this book. We have our main character, Dara, who is star blessed, and the Fae believe that her blood will help them be more powerful or enhance their powers. So, basically, her mother has kind of traded her for, a better life, money, blah, blah, blah. So she's sent to the palace where she is betrothed to the crown prince. But the night before she's taken there, she meets this Fae guard who turns out to be someone else. I think this is in the synopsis, so I'm just gonna say it turns out to be the crown prince's brother. So she has this connection with him and this chemistry with him, and so she's basically not wanting to go through with whatever is going to happen to her once she's married to the crown prince. But she's also fighting an attraction to the crown prince's brother, and that brother, let's just say I know who I would pick because, red flags are flagging and they're looking a little green to me. Maybe I'm a little colorblind. I don't know. It's giving. He's giving. So this is really fun and exciting. A quick read. I'm like flying through this, and that's also why I wanted to update because when I am feeling okay, I am reading this and completely like flying through it. It's taking me no time. I'm having a really great time. You know, I feel like Holly might be, in the same realm as like Katie Robert to me. Like I know what I'm going in for, and just have a good time, a smutty time, and it works for me. So, yeah. All right, so I'm popping in to say that I have finished A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows, and I ate this up. I did. It was a fun time. It was a smutty time. I will say that this feels like more spice than maybe plot. I feel like every couple pages we were getting a spicy scene, and that didn't bother me because I was just having a good time, and I kind of knew that going into it. So if you do decide to read this, just know you're going in for a good, fun, smutty time, not necessarily, this big fantasy plot line. I did, however, like where the story was going. We were kind of left on a cliffhanger and like a changing situation. So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen next. So I definitely am stopping myself from derailing my TBR at this point and finishing out the series. Everin, who is our male love interest, I enjoyed him a lot. I think that he was my type of arrogant man, and we just, that's what it is. I do feel like our main character, Adara, is one of those characters that I tend to dislike. She is a main character who feels like they can change the way the world works. They don't have to learn the way things work. They're very naive and very ignorant to the way things are, and they just feel like they can just come in and just stop and change everything. Everything has to be done by the way they want it done, and they don't even take time to like figure shit out. Because I feel like I'm a person, if I'm in like an unfortunate situation or I'm being taken to this land where I don't know anything about anything, I am a plotter, I am a planner, and it it irritates me when I have main characters who aren't like that. And I know that, not everybody's like me, blah blah blah, whatever. But I just be like, y'all don't be putting y'all brain cells to work. Y'all just be like, let's go. Let's do it. And yeah. I don't like that too much. But anyway, I ended up giving this a 3.5 star. A good time, but nothing to be taken too seriously. Holly Renee is kind of cementing herself as an author that I am going to be picking up pretty often, and I'm excited about that. I love to have, new authors that I know I'll have at least a good time with, even if it's not, like serious or something, because I'm not a serious person all the time and I don't want to read like really serious heavy books most of the time. So it's nice to know that I can add her into the roster with my Katie Roberts, my Scarlett St. Clair's. Had a fun time reading this. have another update for you guys, and that is that I have finished A Touch of Malice by Scarlett St. Clair. And I didn't really update while I was reading this because I didn't have much to say. This felt very slow to be compared to the other books in this series. It felt like, yes, there were a lot of things happening, but I felt like they were all really drawn out. And normally I don't mind, but I felt like in this one there were a lot more spicy scenes, and I felt like every other page or before we could even like finish out the scene that we were in, we were having another spicy scene. And while I do enjoy them, I feel like it might have been a little bit of overkill in this book, especially compared to how much plot we got and how much plot we usually get in this series. So I think when I first read this book, I rated it 4 stars, and I think this time around it will be either a 3.5 or a 4. I think we did have some interesting things that happened in this book. I was happy with the way that Persephone had growth because she was definitely very annoying in the second book, and now she is kind of understanding a bit more about life and about being a goddess and all of those types of things. I'm not sure if this is spoilery or not, but I will tag it as spoilers. If you don't want to hear this information, just skip ahead until you don't see spoilers on the screen anymore. But in this book, it was weird to me that at the beginning of, well, basically more than halfway through this book, Persephone is still struggling with her magic and struggling about how to summon her magic, how to do things with her magic. But then, like, out of nowhere, she's just like this badass who's like throwing her magic around, and she knows what to do, how to do. Like, she's not even really having to think about it anymore. And I'm like, yeah, we didn't see that happen necessarily. Like, we saw her getting lessons and we saw training scenes with Hecate and Hades, but nothing like it went from her training and struggling to being like, yeah, I know what to do. Like, yeah, I'm throwing shit everywhere and I got a real good hold on my magic. And I'm like, but wait, we skipped the part where, you know, she was getting better. It went from like struggling to like, I got this. And that was weird because I feel like we should have gotten more in between instead of maybe spending so much time on the training scenes with her struggling. But yeah, that was one problem that I did have with this. Honestly, I don't have too much more to say. There's not much more that I can say, with this being the third slash what 1, 2, 3, the third slash fifth book in series. So yeah, it's finished at least. Alrighty, friends, and that is a wrap on this reading vlog. Let's do a quick little recap just to talk about what we read. So the first book, Scorpica, ended up being a DNF. I just felt like it really wasn't for me. Nothing really wrong with it, just not to my taste. In the second book that we read, You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, ended up being a 5-star for me. Super exciting. Definitely going out as one of my favorite books of the year. And we read A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Renee, and that was super fun. I think I ended up giving that a 3 or 3.5 star, and I had a really good time with this. It was fun, it was spicy, and I just really enjoyed my time with it, flew right through it. And lastly, we have A Touch of Malice that ended up being a 3.5 or 4 star for me. I think we had a pretty decent run this vlog, and I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to spend with me and read these books, and I cannot wait to catch you in the next video. See you soon. Bye.